Hi, today we will be looking at the Special Education Playbook for System Leaders. We will be discussing Instructional Best Practice 1. How can we ensure all students with disabilities receive high quality core reading and math instruction? Let's take a moment to consider what this statement might look like in your district. Schools play an important role in helping staff recognize the potential of each student. This occurs when all the adults in the building are collectively responsible for the achievement of every student, including those with disabilities. Do the adults in your school system uphold a culture of achievement and inclusion? Take a moment to think about where you are succeeding in this area and where you might need help. In Louisiana, students with disabilities are simply students first. Louisiana is a state that believes in inclusion, not as a place or a program, but as a sense of belonging by giving each student what they need to succeed in high quality teaching and learning environments. When all the adults in the school building are collectively responsible for the achievement of every student, including those with disabilities, then all children belong and can thrive in the general education setting. So, how do we do this? There's a professional learning roadmap that outlines best practices for building structures to increase collaboration among educators. Schools will play an important role in helping staff recognize the potential of each student. We have to begin by including a special education lead educator on the school's instructional leadership team, primarily to support teaching and learning practices. Special educators who teach academic content or provide academic interventions join grade level or department collaborative planning that may already exist in many schools. Provide weekly teacher collaboration time for general and special education teachers. Include special education teachers in training on standards, curriculum, and assessments. We also have to provide training for general education teachers on interpreting IEPs and implementing instructional accommodations. We can't expect everyone to be an expert on everything if we don't give them the proper training. The needs of students and teachers drive the new learning in meetings. These meetings are facilitated in cycles of structured professional learning. Effective meetings include the analysis of student work, unpacking, planning, discussing and annotating units and lessons from high-quality curriculum, planning for and addressing the needs of diverse learners, and addressing unfinished learning through acceleration. Ideally, collaboration occurs among small groups of teachers in grade levels or content areas. Teacher collaboration is a research-based school improvement best practice that emphasizes teacher development through weekly job-embedded learning and is facilitated by a skilled educator serving within the building. Let's take a moment to look at this chart. A typical student spends a good portion of their day in reading and math. But students with special needs and with many disabilities, they do benefit from interventions. But nearly all of these take place during high quality, rigorous core instruction, and they miss out on this valuable learning time. Protecting high quality core instruction is fundamental to addressing academic challenges. In some schools, students with disabilities actually receive less core instruction than their peers who are not struggling academically. Too often, students with disabilities' access to core instruction can be impeded when students are intentionally pulled from core instruction to receive extra help or related services when they are scheduled into other lower level classes or pulled from their high quality core instruction. Inclusive core instruction matters most, and this time must be held sacred. This visual shows what it could look like for students with disabilities. Now more than ever, after COVID and many other Louisiana disruptions such as hurricanes, the vast majority of our students with disabilities need a focus on high quality, inclusive core instruction with an accelerating learning approach. Ensuring high quality core instruction is fundamental to addressing academic challenges. While extra instructional time, intervention, and special education services are important and necessary, they are not a replacement for core instruction. Schedules should be intentionally designed to facilitate the belief that core instructional time is sacred. Let's talk about what else we need to see. We know that we have to start with a culture of achievement and inclusion. How can the success of diverse learners be supported during core instruction? The biggest takeaways from the playbook are less pulling students with disabilities out of core instruction and ensuring they are taught using grade level curriculum and increasing intentional collaboration among general educators and special educators. Special education and intervention services should be in addition to, not instead of, core instruction, especially in reading, English language arts, and math for many of our students. We know that co-teaching and inclusion are effective strategies when done correctly. Let's make sure that we are giving our educators the proper training and help that they need here. We want to see more of this use of high quality materials to accelerate learning and use student formative data to determine where supports will be needed. Using scaffolding techniques to support student success. Collaborating and intentionally planning between SPED and content for instructional purposes and supports prior to each lesson. Annotating lessons for specific student supports. Providing accommodations consistently during classroom instruction to support students in mastering grade level content. We want to see less of this, using lower level materials or removing students from core instruction, avoiding challenging activities altogether, omitting individualized supports and avoiding intentional lesson planning, avoiding providing accommodations only on statewide assessments. Accelerate learning is both a mindset and an approach to teaching and learning rather than a service, place, or time. Accelerated learning is the prioritization of access to high-quality, grade-level instruction for all students. By using grade-level learning, by utilizing high-quality materials to provide timely, individualized supports throughout a variety of flexible instructional settings and groupings. Lowering of expectations locks students into staying below grade level. These students will need time during the day for additional instruction to address skill gaps and to learn content from prior years, but that should be in addition to, not instead of, rigorous core instruction. Reading is the gateway to all other learning. All topics covered by core instruction are important, but without mastery of reading, students may struggle in most academic subjects. Moreover, third grade reading proficiency is a strong predictor of lifetime achievement. Difficulty with reading is the most common reason for students to be referred to special education. Some teachers have equated the science of reading with phonics. While phonics is a key element of the science of reading, it is much more than just phonics. It is a comprehensive bundle that includes the teaching of background knowledge, phonemic awareness, language comprehension, and more. Take a moment to stop and self-assess. Where are you at in this process? What can you improve on? What will be your biggest hurdles and challenges?